Hey guys, what's up? It's Dave. I'm in the garage. Got my 2010 Audi Q5 with the 3.2 in here. Car's got about 208 or 9,000 miles on it. I'm starting to get a smell of some burnt oil when I park the car and walk away from it. It looks like my valve cover gaskets, at least on the driver's side, is starting to seep out and drip down onto the exhaust perhaps. It's a little difficult to see. Stuck a mirror in there with a flashlight. It's hard to see, but I believe the valve cover gasket is leaking a little bit onto the exhaust. So I bought a set of valve cover gaskets. Going to swap them both out, and hopefully that smell will go away. So let's jump right into it. Alright, here we are. Driver's side of the car. Here's the valve cover. I believe this gasket is leaking on that side, dripping down onto the exhaust. So we need to pull this cover off and replace the gasket. Looks like this tank is kind of right in my work area. Try to get this tank out of the way so we have better access. And so it looks like we got a couple of bolt nuts here. And this hard line comes off. A little pick under here to lift that up. And now I'm going to gently kind of pull this off without trying not to break anything. Okay. Just like that. This is a hard line, so it's hard to move out of the way. But two 10mm nuts. One, two. And I believe there's probably a sensor on the bottom of this thing as well. But let me see if I can get this thing up and out of the way. Okay, yep, we got a connector on the bottom. And that comes off. And let me see if I can just get this out of the way. Alright, this is going to have to do, I suppose. It frees up a bunch of room. So here's all the fasteners, boom, 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 and a couple hidden down the bottom there. So let's start with getting the coils out. Alright, let's get these coils out of the way. We've got to get the harness off. There's two, what do we got here? Two T20 screws. Alright, these coils are just, now that I've got this harness disconnected with the two screws, I put a flat blade screwdriver in here. Hear that little click, click, and that other one was already unclicked perhaps, but once you get them unclicked they should come right off like so. Now we just grab and pull these coil packs up. Any tool you can get in here to kind of pry up on them. That's what I'm going to use to get them started. Okay. Alright, and now they're all coming out. I'm going to keep these in the same order they came out in. The back, the middle, and the front. I'm going to put these back in the same spot. I got this PVC hose, I believe is what it is. It's plastic. Again, this is a 2010 with over 200K on it. It's probably kind of brittle. Got this crazy ass connector, which I'm not sure how to remove yet. It's got this little ramp here. And then it's got 4 spots, one here, one here, one here, and one on the bottom. And you have to raise these points up all at the same time to slide it off. So I'm just going to take a tie wrap and see if I can't kind of sneak it up like that on 3 of them and maybe pick the 4th one and pull it off without breaking it. Because I'm not buying another one of these things if I break it. I feel like I got all three of them except for that back one that I can't see. Kind of reach in the back. Come on. Huh. There it is. Alright, don't ask me how I did that. I just worked at it. And I got it off. So whatever you can do, that's what I did. Alright, now I'm going to try to break loose each one of these valve cover gaskets. This is a T30. Let me see if I can sneak in here with some kind of a wrench. I don't know if you can see much in here, but because I can't see much in here. If I can just get this bit onto it. There it is, I'm on it now. And I broke it loose. Alright, so they're all loose now. We just gotta get them out without dropping them. Well, they don't come out, so that's kind of good, I think. Maybe they stay in the valve cover, which would be cool. I'm backing them out until I feel a little bit of resistance. Alright, this one last fastener in the back is tough to get at. I'm using this kind of a setup, just kind of a wobble on my Torx bit. If I can get it in there, because it's a little bit of an angle. Alright, met some resistance like all the other screws. Now let me see if I can just kind of pry this cover loose a little bit and get it started. Alright, not really sure where to pry this thing from. Let's see if I can sneak in somewhere. Alright, let me go around and see which one of these fasteners is not backed out enough. There we go. See if I can sneak this out. And there we have it. Oh. Well, these fasteners stay in the valve cover, which is good because I just flipped it over. But it looks like it's been seeping down that bottom side of it. So let's get this over to the bench and check it out. Alright, so here's the valve cover, and I'm hoping to see kind of a beat up gasket here, but let's just pluck this thing out. Before I do that, let me lay my new gasket alongside of it and make sure I do have the correct ones. I mean, I ordered the correct ones, but who knows? Alright, so I do have the right gasket. Good. So this gasket's got a deep channel in this cover. These are awesome gaskets. Let's see if we can't get them out. Now I'm not so concerned about... Oh yeah, this gasket here is hard as a rock. let's clean things up a little bit. Alright, so I took a little bit of compressed air and just kind of blew the channel out to get it as clean as I could. And let's kind of set this gasket in place. Alright, and I will kind of show you, where are we? Right here? I will show you that these screws have like a little collar on them. If you look at this screw here, it's got a collar on it. So it's not enough just to put the gasket in here, but you've got to make sure that the collar goes up through it as well, like that. So make sure these collars, here's another one, make sure the collar is pushed up like that and going through the gasket. And so I'll do that on all of these. There's no need for a gasket sealer or anything, because they're amazing gaskets. Back in the old days, it's just a cork gasket and valve covers. Alright, so all the collars are pushed up into the gasket so everything stays in place. And now I'm just going to go wipe down the surface on the valve cylinder head, and then we're ready to install this. Alright, so I just took a rag and I wiped off this whole surface where this new gasket's going to ride on. There was never any silicone, so really just a wipe off, and it's nice and clean. Everything looks good. We've got our valve cover with the new gasket on it. Gasket's held in place by all those collars. The screws aren't falling off. Let's see if we can slip this into position here. Oh, come on now. That can't be that easy. There's no way that that's that easy. Let me get a couple of these started. Alright, got them all started except for this last one. So let's see if I can see. I can't see it, but since all the other ones are lined up, this one falls right into place. Alright. I'm satisfied with that. Alright, this is going good. So I'm going to get the new gasket in. The valve cover is on. Pretty sure I can hook this back up now. Awesome, didn't break that. Put the coils back in, and this side will be done. Alright, and these coil packs, I'm putting them back in the same holes they came out of. Put them in place. Line up the connectors. Click, click, click. And let's put the tank back in place. There's a rubber grommet that goes into a hole in the bottom, and then two 10mm nuts. That's in place. This just pushes in. And then we snap that clip down, and that's in place. Alright. I don't think the passenger side is leaking, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, passenger side is going to be the same thing, only instead of having to remove the overflow, coolant overflow bottle, we've got the intake and snorkel in our way. So let's kind of get rid of the intake. Now we're going to have to pop off this cover here and get this whole intake thing out of the way. So in order to get this air box out, this has to come out, and so this cover also has got to come off. Alright, so in order to pop this cover off, we've got these little plastic items. You just push in the center. Whoops, that one went all the way through. And then it kind of pops out. This comes off. Okay, we got this intake. T25s. Alright, looks like this snorkel will be the next thing. This whole thing comes off, and nothing else is holding this in place except for one vacuum hose. And that opens up all kinds of space for us. Be careful. Come on. Come on out of there. Oh yeah. Yeah, a little bit easier, I think. Oh, you mother. Those things. It's like I said on the other side, don't flip this thing upside down. We lost two of them. One fell right in the motor. Alright, let's hold our breath. This thing drops down into the pan. It's going to be all over. Got it! It's not supposed to fall out. Alright, one other one fell down, but it didn't go inside the engine, so let me look around for that. Alright, so I pulled the old gasket out. I installed it on this thing. I'm not flipping it over to show you, because last time I did that I dropped a bunch of screws. Did find that one screw was in the belly pan, which this car amazingly still has. So I got all the screws back, put the gasket in, clean the surfaces. I'm just going to drop this in place, just like the other side. That seems to fit nicely there. Let's go around and get all the screws started. And one final torque on this hard to get one. That's tight. Alright, I think it's safe to snap this back in place. Like that. Pop the coils in. Put the covers back on. let's give it a quick start. Make sure it starts. Okay, that looks good. Alright, there you have it. That wasn't too bad. Valve cover gaskets on an Audi V6. This is a 2010 Q5 with a 3.2. I believe all of the V6s are very similar. There's really only one tight screw on each side to get to. If you can get that fastener in and out, the rest of them are easy to access. Nothing really to struggle with. One word of advice, don't flip the valve cover over to check the gasket while you're hovering over the opened up engine. You saw me drop a couple of screws. One fell down in the belly pan, the other fell into the cylinder head. I was able to grab it out of there with a magnet. So yeah, get the valve cover out of the engine bay, then flip it over and take a look at what you got to work with. But I mean, other than that, just basic hand tools and you know, an hour or two, and I got rid of the oil leak that was dripping down onto the exhaust, making for an oily burning smell anytime I walked away from the car. So hope you enjoyed that. If you've got the same job and this was helpful, fantastic. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.